All right, so get this, you guys. Today we are going deep, deep into Ripple and uh, XRP and like what it all means for like the future of finance, right?
Hmm.
You sent us this really fascinating mix of videos
Yeah.
with all these crypto analysts, and they're all making these pretty bold predictions about what's coming next.
Yeah, and it's amazing like how much they're connecting all these seemingly unrelated events, like stuff from a Department of Treasury report to a cryptic comment from Ripple's CTO,
Oh, wow.
even happenings at the World Economic Forum. Like it's all connected somehow.
Okay, so let's try to like break this down for everyone. One analyst is really buzzing about David Schwartz. He's Ripple's chief technology officer, and
Yep.
apparently he responded to his video.
Yeah, it wasn't like a direct response or anything,
Oh,
but more like he used this analogy that's got people like reading between the lines, you know what I mean?
oh, really?
So Schwartz basically compared Ripple working with banks to like a small candle maker who partners with both Walmart and like a tiny boutique,
Right.
right? The small boutique is obviously going to shout about it from the rooftops,
Right.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Walmart might not even mention it.
So is he like saying that big banks are secretly using Ripple's tech, but they're just keeping it quiet?
That's exactly what this analyst is suggesting.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, think about it for these giant institutions, the ones that are like super entrenched in traditional finance, for them to just come out and publicly align themselves with like a potentially disruptive tech like Ripple,
Yeah.
that could really rock the boat, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But for smaller players, the ones trying to get ahead,
Yeah,
a Ripple partnership could be a total game changer.
I see.
Actions speak louder than words, right?
All right. Okay, so this is where things get really interesting
Okay.
because a lot of these sources are pointing to this coming reset of the financial system.
Hmm.
And one analyst even claims that Janet Yellen dropping a treasury seal during a speech is like a symbol of this change.
Okay, well, symbolism aside, Brad Garlinghouse, who's the CEO of Ripple, has stated that a financial reset is inevitable,
Really?
regardless of what happens with the U.S. election.
Wow.
So the big question becomes, what will this reset actually look like,
Yeah.
and who are going to be like the major players?
And that's where Ripple comes in? Is that what you're
And
saying?
that's what this analyst thinks, yeah,
Wow.
that the company is, perfectly positioned to kind of be a leader in this new financial world.
Okay, so it's not just like speculation or anything like that. They're actually doing stuff.
Right. And it's not just speculation. They've been like super busy forming partnerships
Yeah.
with banks and governments all over the world,
Mm-hmm.
presenting their technology as like a faster, more efficient way to move money across borders.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, yeah.
These analysts also bring up concerns about stable coins
Right.
and the possibility of like stricter regulations
Absolutely. They're pointing to a Department of Treasury report that's basically warning about stablecoins.
Hmm.
Those are the digital assets that are pegged to the value of like traditional currencies like the US dollar.
Yeah.
And they're predicting this like wave of intense scrutiny coming from regulators,
Oh, wow.
which is really relevant because of that whole legal battle that's been going on between Ripple and the SEC.
Yeah, right. The outcome of that case could be huge. Like it could have implications for how all crypto is regulated in the U.S.
Exactly. One
Right.
analyst even goes so far as to predict like a stablecoin collapse.
Seriously.
Yeah, claiming it could have just like disastrous consequences for the entire crypto market.
Wow. Okay, so just to recap, we've got like a potential financial reset coming up,
Right.
Ripple potentially waiting in the wings, and stablecoins possibly on the verge of collapse.
Yeah.
What else are these analysts focused on?
Well, they're also highlighting this 2025 deadline that was set by the Bank for International Settlement, the BIS.
Okay.
And by that time, the BIS is going to assess, how their recommendations for global payment systems have been implemented.
Is this like a subtle nod of approval for Ripple and XRP from the BIS?
Well, it's not explicitly stated, but some analysts see this deadline as like a sign that, there's this coordinated global push happening
Oh, really?
towards new financial infrastructure.
Hmm.
And Ripple, with its focus on like cross-border payments and, its existing network of partnerships, could be in a really great position to benefit from this shift.
This is intense. It sounds like the financial world is about to get a major shakeup.
Yeah, it does a bit, doesn't it?
But not everyone is like totally fixated on just the immediate future.
Right.
One analyst brought up Venex's prediction that Bitcoin will hit $3 million by 2050,
Wow.
basically becoming like a global reserve asset that's held by central banks.
That's a pretty bold prediction.
It is.
And it really kind of underscores that long-term potential of cryptocurrencies,
Yeah.
But this particular analyst is more interested in like the immediate potential of XRP.
Hmm.
He contrasts Van Eck's long-term outlook with his belief that, XRP has got to see a significant price jump.
Okay.
But for XRP to really succeed, this analyst emphasizes one crucial factor:
And what's that?
liquidity.
Huh.
He stresses how vital liquidity is for a digital asset, if you want it to be successfully used for payments.
I see.
He even points to a video where Ripple executives explain how higher liquidity is crucial
Mm.
for large financial institutions to confidently adopt XRP.
Right.
If you're a bank moving billions of dollars daily, you need to be certain that you can buy and sell large amounts of XRP
Yeah.
without causing massive price swings.
So this all ties back into his belief that XRP is about to, like, skyrocket, right?
More liquidity, more adoption, higher price. That's the logic.
Wow.
But of course, in predicting the market is a tricky business.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But still, the points this analyst raises about liquidity are definitely food for thought.
It seems like we're on the brink of this, like, massive change in how money moves around the world.
It does seem that way.
There's just so much to unpack here.
Yeah, there is.
For someone who's maybe not as familiar with all this, can you briefly explain what exactly XRP is and how it fits into all of this?
Sure. So XRP is a digital asset. It's kind of like Bitcoin,
Okay.
but with a specific focus on facilitating cross-border payments.
Mm.
You can think of it like a bridge between different currencies.
Yeah.
Banks can use XRP to transfer funds across borders
Right.
really quickly and cheaply without needing to go through this complex network of intermediaries.
Oh, okay.
And that's where Ripple, the company behind XRP, comes in.
Mm.
They've built a tech platform that uses XRP to streamline these international payments.
I see.
So they're making them faster, cheaper, and more efficient.
Wow.
So when these analysts talk about like a financial reset and Ripple being a major player,
All right.
they're essentially betting on a future where XRP just becomes a key part of how money moves globally.
That's a great explanation. It really puts things into perspective. It
Yeah.
sounds like XRP could be a total game changer.
It has that potential.
But is this all just hype? Are these analysts getting ahead of themselves?
Well, that's what we're here to explore.
Right.
These analysts are making a case for XRP's future.
Hmm.
They're connecting dots between Ripple's technology, regulatory changes, and these predictions of a global financial shift.
Okay.
But are they overhyping its potential?
Right.
Let's dive deeper into some specific examples and see if their arguments hold water.
All right, let's do it. You've piqued my curiosity.
Okay.
I'm ready to get into the nitty-gritty.
Great. Let's unpack some of these predictions and see what we can learn about the future of finance.
Yeah.
It's funny, you get caught up in all the price predictions and the hype and everything.
Yeah.
But what really stood out to me was like how much these analysts focused on the real world uses for XRP.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One analyst even dug up this old video of David Schwartz, like from way back in 2019.
Oh, wow.
And he's talking about how important liquidity is for payment systems.
Yeah.
It's crazy how consistent Ripple's message has been over the years, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they've really been building towards this for a long time.
Yeah, this isn't just like some new marketing ploy or anything.
Right. This focus on actually solving real problems in the financial system
Yeah.
is what really sets Ripple apart from a lot of other crypto projects,
Yeah, I agree with this analyst really drove home the point that liquidity is just crucial for widespread adoption, like he was saying, for large financial institutions to really embrace XRP.
Right.
They need to know that they can buy and sell large amounts without causing these huge price swings.
That makes total sense. I mean,
Right.
imagine you're a bank and you're handling billions of dollars in transactions every single day.
Right.
You can't have your payment system getting all messed up by crazy price fluctuations.
It would be chaos.
One analyst even compared it to trying to buy a house with Bitcoin back in the early days.
Oh, yeah.
The market was so illiquid back then
Right.
that one large transaction could just send the price skyrocketing or plummeting.
Mm.
It's like trying to drive this tiny winding road
Okay.
with a giant truck.
I see.
You need those wide open highways for those kinds of transactions.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's the kind of risk that these institutions just can't tolerate.
Oh, for sure.
They need stability and predictability,
Of course.
which is why liquidity is so essential for a digital asset that's trying to be,
Yeah.
a major payment system.
So basically what we're seeing is that a lot of these analysts are connecting Ripple's focus on liquidity with the current regulatory climate,
Right.
and the predictions of this global financial reset
Yeah, they see all these factors coming together.
create like the perfect storm for XRP adoption.
It's a pretty compelling narrative,
It is.
and it's definitely fueled by real-world events and development.
Yeah, for sure.
But, of course, we have to remember that these are just predictions,
Right.
and, the future is always uncertain.
It is.
But the trends that they're highlighting
Yeah.
are definitely worth paying attention to.
Okay, so we've got Ripple building its network.
Right.
We've got regulators setting deadlines.
Fine.
And we've got analysts buzzing about liquidity.
Mm-hmm.
What does all this mean for, like, the average person? Us just trying to make sense of this whole crazy world of finance?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
Well, I know I can't give financial advice, but I think the key takeaway here is that, the financial landscape is shifting beneath our feet.
Wow.
It's like, we're all on this boat,
Okay.
and the current is starting to pick up.
So we can either, like, cling to the familiar shores of traditional finance.
Yeah,
Or we can, like, learn to navigate these new currents.
exactly, and to navigate effectively.
Yeah.
And we need to understand, what forces are at play.
Right.
And that's what these analysts are doing.
Trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah, they're trying to interpret the signals, connect the dots,
Okay.
make sense of this space that's evolving so rapidly.
So it's not just about, like, blindly following predictions. It's about, like, doing our own research.
Right.
Understanding the technology.
Yeah.
And, like, assessing the risks and the opportunities for ourselves.
Absolutely. And that's where the real value of these deep dives lies.
I see.
They're not giving you all the answers,
Okay.
but they're giving you the knowledge and the insights you need
Yeah.
to make more informed decisions.
It was refreshing to hear these analysts, like, acknowledge the uncertainty of the crypto market,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They were definitely passionate about their beliefs,
Yeah.
but they weren't, like, pretending to have all the answers.
I think that's a sign of intellectual honesty.
Totally.
They're not claiming to have like a crystal ball or anything.
Right,
They're
yeah.
just sharing their analysis.
Yeah.
And they're inviting you to like join the conversation.
I like that.
And they're emphasizing personal responsibility,
Yeah.
which is so important in this space.
One analyst made this really powerful point about becoming your own banker,
Oh, yeah.
like your own financial advisor.
Yeah.
He was arguing that relying on these traditional institutions might actually, like, put you at a disadvantage in this new world.
Interesting.
He even suggested that these institutions, with their slow-moving bureaucracy and, like, outdated systems,
Right.
might be falling behind when it comes to crypto.
That's a good point.
Which raises a really important question.
Okay.
If the financial world is really on the verge of this major transformation,
Yeah.
are we prepared to, like, adapt and thrive
Are we ready for this?
in this new environment?
It's definitely a challenge,
Yeah.
but it's also this like incredible opportunity.
Sure.
The old rules are being rewritten
Yeah.
and the playing field is leveling.
So it's up to each of us to decide what role we want to play in this, like, emerging financial order.
I love that.
This is what makes this whole conversation so fascinating.
Yeah, me too.
It's not just about numbers and charts.
No, it's not.
It's about this fundamental shift in, like, power and control.
That's what makes this space so captivating.
Yeah, it really is.
It's not just about the technology itself. It's about like the potential to like reshape the very foundations of our financial system.
Okay, so speaking of reshaping the financial system,
Yeah,
let's
okay.
go back to that BIS 2025 deadline.
Okay.
We talked about it a bit earlier.
Yeah.
It seems like a pretty big deal.
It does.
But we haven't really dug into what it could mean,
You're right. That's an important point.
Yeah.
So that deadline is basically like a countdown clock
Okay.
for countries to figure out how they're going to implement the BIS's recommendations.
For global payment systems.
Exactly.
So what are those recommendations exactly?
All right. So the BIS is basically pushing for faster, more efficient, and more transparent cross-border payments.
Okay.
We want to reduce the friction and the cost,
Yeah.
that's associated with moving money all over the world.
And this is where things get interesting for Ripple, right?
Yeah, this is where it gets good.
Because their technology is specifically designed to address those challenges. So is it possible that the BIS setting this deadline
Yeah.
could actually be like a catalyst for Ripple's adoption?
It's definitely possible some analysts believe that the BIS is implicitly endorsing Ripple and XRP by pushing for these changes.
I see.
They argue that Ripple is already ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
They've got a proven technology platform
Right.
and a growing network of partnerships.
But couldn't this also create opportunities for, like, other players in the space?
Oh, absolutely. this deadline could spark like this wave of innovation as companies race to develop solutions that meet the BIS's recommendations.
Right.
And this could lead to like new competitors emerging,
Challenging Ripple.
potentially, yeah.
So it's not a guaranteed win for Ripple.
Not at all. It's a competitive landscape out there.
Right.
And the BIS deadline is just one piece of the puzzle.
But it's definitely something to watch closely.
It is.
This deep dive is really making me think about the future of finance in like a whole new way.
Yeah, me too. It's fascinating, isn't it?
We've covered so much in this part.
We have.
Let's take a moment to kind of process all of this
Okay.
and come back for our final thoughts in part 3.
Sounds good.
In the meantime, what's resonating with you?
Yeah.
What's sparking your curiosity? What questions are like bubbling up for you as we delve deeper into these predictions and analyses?
It's amazing like how these analysts are weaving together history and economics and even like psychology,
Oh, yeah.
to try to understand this crypto landscape.
Yeah.
One analyst even drew parallels to historical financial resets,
Oh, wow.
pointing out that periods of instability,
Yeah.
often lead to new financial systems and new power structures.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a key insight.
Sure.
History shows us that when like the old ways of doing things start to crumble,
Yeah.
new systems emerge.
Right.
And it's often driven by like technological innovation or shifts in like global power dynamics.
I was really struck by one analyst's argument that our current financial system is like designed to benefit the people who already have wealth and power. It made me think about how crypto could potentially disrupt this system
Right.
and like create more equitable opportunities.
It's a powerful idea.
Yeah, it is.
And it really gets at the heart of what motivates a lot of people in like the crypto movement. This idea that technology can empower individuals,
Yeah.
challenge like centralized authority,
Right.
and create a more level playing field.
And that's where things get really interesting.
Right, because it's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about like the potential.
To social and economic change.
Exactly. These analysts are grappling with like huge questions, about the future of money and power.
Wow.
Even society itself.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is. And while their predictions might differ,
Yeah.
they all seem to agree that like we're living through a period of just like profound transformation.
One analyst even said, like,
Oh, yeah.
fasten your seatbelts. Things are about to get wild.
A little dramatic maybe,
Yeah.
but I think it captures the excitement and the uncertainty that surrounds this space.
Yeah, for sure.
We're not just watching this unfold.
Right.
We're like active participants in this story.
That's true. So what does this all mean for our listeners?
Okay.
The deep divers who want to understand what's next
Right.
for Ripple XRP and like the future of finance.
The key takeaway here is that like the future isn't set in stone. It's being shaped right now
Okay.
by the choices that we make,
Yeah.
the technologies that we embrace,
Yeah.
and like the conversations that we have.
It's like we're all standing at this crossroad.
Yeah, a fork in the road.
And the path we choose will determine where we end up.
Exactly. And these analysts are offering like their perspectives,
Right.
their maps and compasses
I like that.
to help us navigate this uncharted territory.
They're giving us the tools to think critically,
Yeah.
question our assumptions.
Yeah.
And like envision a future where money is no longer a tool of oppression, but like a force for positive change.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah,
It's an inspiring vision
it is,
and one that's worth striving for.
for sure.
But it's not going to happen overnight.
No.
It takes effort and education
Right.
and like a willingness to challenge the status quo.
Well, this deep dive has definitely given us a lot to think about.
It has.
And it's sparked some really fascinating questions.
Yeah.
But the journey doesn't end here,
Right. It keeps going.
It's up to each of us to like keep exploring, stay curious, and like actively participate
Yeah.
in shaping the future of finance.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe someday you'll be the one making the bold predictions, connecting the dots,
Yeah.
and inspiring others to dive deep into the world of crypto and beyond.
That's it for today's deep dive. We hope you enjoyed this whirlwind tour of Ripple XRP and the future of finance.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Remember, knowledge is power,
It is.
especially in a world that's changing as fast as ours.
So true.
So keep questioning, keep learning,
Mm-hmm.
and keep diving deep.
We'll see you next time.